Eh?
Yeah, a lot of people have been having problems. I've been having problems with a lot of my accounts since I'm in here with this one. Just
Why, like you lose connection?
yeah, when I try to come in, even sometimes it'll let me come in for a split second. I won't have audio or something. It'll just crash and say, try again in a few minutes or whatever. There was an error. And some accounts work, some don't. Some pages work, some don't.
Yeah, I started a second account and it worked for a long time, and all of a sudden it did the same thing. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people are having problems. I've seen people trying to get in other Hangouts. Same crap.
How long does it take you Google usually fix that?
Yeah.
Never.
Never.
That's the.
I don't know.
Whoa. Is that me or? Ouch.
F sharp.
Who is that? Me? Alright.
Yo.
Testing.
Hey, can you guys hear me all right?
Yes.
Yeah, I hear you.
Awesome. Finally, it works.
Yay. Welcome.
Okay.
Let's see here.
I fixed the audio problem that was on my mic, so I can actually talk normally now.
Sounds good.
Hey, Farhan, how are you?
Doing very well. How are you doing?
See,
Pretty good.
I don't think it's Google Plus. Like everything, I'm like on Tumblr, Twitter, and Facebook, and everything's acting weird.
There's a feedback loop on yours.
On me?
Yeah, I can hear it slightly. Hey Nadia, do you happen to know any Verilog, the programming language?
Yeah, a lot of people have been having problems. I've been having
For my
here with this one.
such. Wow. What is that? And how do we start?
One second, I didn't hear what you said. I'm gonna respectfully mute Brian Vega. Brian, I apologize. I think yours is your audio is feedbacking. It's getting really high pitched. Sorry, say that again. I'm sad.
Yeah, when I studied it, it was I think VHDL. So.
What does that stand for, VHDL? Hardware design language. Is it efficient, or do you have to, like, I mean, it's like kind of like a compiler, if you will. I don't know if that's the right word, but is it going to actually be decent, or is it going to suck, like the code that it produces, or the circuits that it produces?
Yeah, basically.
There's a lot of feedback sound there. Wow. Man, just when my audio fixed, everyone else's is messed up.
Okay, sorry about that.
NP.
Like I said. Yeah, VHDL is kind of like most like Verilog, but I don't know much. Bear with me while I Tumblr, tweet, Facebook. Oh boy, that's nothing to the effect. Well.
Is it hard to learn, or is it like learning any other language?
It's a different paradigm, so it's harder to learn than just like the language, just like every language you know, but it's kind of once you know how to program computers, it's not that far out.
Okay, because like I learned Ruby like in a day basically, or I mean I'm still learning it, but it's I wrote a email spoofer to mess with my friends in a group chat we're in, or group distribution list we're in, and like I mean the technical aspect of that took me like 5 minutes to do. Like I just need, I mean the learning how to, well maybe more than that, but it didn't take me very long at all. Whereas I think like is it like that? Like would it be it's just like learning syntax or?
It's a bit more because it's a different paradigm. One of the reasons why Ruby is so trivial in that sense, it's essentially that you, well, it's just like the other ones, except for maybe like syntax and a little bit of libraries.
You're saying it's different. So, like, are there variables that you can create?
Yeah, it tries to kind of cross-dress as imperative.
Pardon?
It tries to kind of cross-dress as imperative. Actually, both VHDL and Verilog.
It tries to. Well, I don't understand what you're saying. I'm sorry. It tries to
Tries to cross-dress as imperative.
What does that mean? Cross-dress as imperative.
It tries to make itself look like C.
Oh, okay, I see.
Okay, and here's my profile.
So is there like a main, or is it like the top of a loop or something like that?
Well, you're doing circuits, so it's not quite gonna have a main.
Mic option has been removed from this video call. Why was mic option removed?
You likely exited from the external text chat.
Can anybody hear me?
Mm-hmm.
We hear you.
All right. Sorry about all that. That was
No problem. Yeah, sorry to mute
so,
you. I didn't mean to be rude there, and I muted you.
No, I would have done the same. Make sure.
He was messing everything up.
Yeah, I was. My bad.
So
Okay.
on a slight topic change, I want Netanyahu to win the election, but I also don't want Obama to do anything that he has to say. And on that note, Green Sufi Soul joined. What a weird or interesting time. I was talking about my favorite topic on this, which I randomly rant about, which was the whole Israel-Palestine issue. I want Netanyahu to win, but I don't want anything he says to actually be done.
Zionist.
Because all he does is drive that country further into the ground. He destroys it.
Disgusting.
I'm sorry?
He's disgusting.
He's a terrible human being. But I'm saying that's why I want him to win, because he's just going to weaken the country. I mean, I don't want the country to be destroyed or nothing like that, but like I want its ability to wage war to be weakened, and he's doing nothing but pissing people off. So, great. You know, go ahead. I hope he wins.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't see it happening though, because like people are just up to it. The things that he does, it's very odd. It's almost like he wants it to be destroyed, or the system. I don't know. I'm not a nationalist, but you know, I sometimes I have my issues with nationalism, and this is one of them.
It's what's about nationalism. I'm actually I dislike nationalism as well, even though I have some of it in me. But what did you mean by?
Well, I think because with nationalism, you know, there's always a sense there's people from that nation that are not from there or not. There's always an outcast group, you know. So it's there's a lot to it, but sometimes I just think that it just separates people in a way within that system. That's why I like the fact of, you know, being more regional than anything else. And, you know, I have a lot of distrust with centralized power.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think centralized power actually makes things impersonal.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Okay.
I used to be a political science major, and I was, you know, about to graduate until I took American government, and that's when I changed my major.
To what?
Psychology.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I couldn't stand it. But I think everything is political. Everything in your life, like, you know, those parking tickets, they're political. I think it's just part of society, and we can't run away from it. Like, people say they hate politics, but unfortunately, you're in politics. The prices that you pay, the roads that you actually drive in, they're all political. So it's just part of life.
I don't. Maybe you're seeing this at a higher level than I am.
Say again?
Maybe you're seeing this at a higher level than I am.
A higher level?
Like you're seeing this at a different level than I am. I don't understand what you mean. How can roads be political?
How could what be political? I'm sorry.
How can a road be political?
It has to be agreed upon. Where to build it? Who's going to fix it? That's political. Somebody has to construct that. The speed limits. You know?
I don't really see that as political in that same way, but I don't know.
Well, that's the whole concept of government.
Slight topic change.
No, I went somewhere else. I wish I would have came earlier. I probably wouldn't got with the flow. Sorry.
No worries, no worries. So I was going to say slight topic change, but would you guys hear about the cops being shot?
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah. I was basically predicted it like in this room the other day. Or not predicted it like in so many ways, but I was like, yeah, that's going to happen because of these crazy people, like these cops that are going around killing people. That's going to happen eventually. And I'm upset that I was right, but I was right.
Yeah, the protesters said they were going to wait till the summertime and start everything all over again, like just people on the street. So they were waiting for it to get like hot again and warmer so they could start shit again. So I don't know what's wrong with them. Just need to let it go. I mean, didn't that like police chief step down or something? I thought he stepped down. I'm gonna send you guys. I'm gonna link something real quick about that shooting. See what you guys think about this one.
Who just said that they wish they would let it go?
Oh, is that there? Sorry about that. Here, check out this link real quick if you guys want. It's about the 2 cops getting shot in the head. It's pretty interesting theories. This guy's pretty cool though.
Okay, I'm seeing here like Antichrist, Illuminati, and when I see all this stuff, I kind of don't take it that seriously.
Oh, right. No, that's okay. It's all good.
Wait, is this real or is it a joke?
He maps out like pictures, like it's I don't know, it's interesting. He maps out like pictures all over the world on stuff that happens, and I mean, I guess that has to do with Christianity, with linking like end time stuff. But if you're not into that, it's all good.
No. Okay, I mean, I'm sorry.
Legit, though.
I don't mean to like sound like I'm talking bad about your religion. Are you Christian? I don't mean to make it sound like I'm talking bad about your faith if you are.
I mean, I was on here last night talking. I don't know if you remember me.
I don't remember you by your name. I don't think I was here last night, so that's probably why I don't remember you. I wasn't. I fell asleep yesterday, kind of early.
Oh, my beliefs are based off Christianity. I guess you could say again, these are all my opinions and beliefs. I believe I'm a true Christian. I don't pour myself into the Bible. Every time I get in an argument, I don't go back to scripture and start quoting all this crap. I don't go to Sunday church and give to the super mega churches. I don't subscribe to all that. I just pray and talk to God. That's it. I don't preach.
You're not a real Christian.
Yeah, well, I mean, in the sense of the religious aspect, I'm not. I don't believe all that stuff. I think we should just have a connection to God, and that's it. Not a Bible, not a church, not a building, not physical, fleshly, man-made stuff. So
yeah, I was actually saying that in jest, because there was a guy in the last room who was the Christian,
right,
and everybody else is wrong.
Who was
Oh,
it?
I can't stand those people. I'm usually, when I'm on these Google chats now, and I've been noticing, I'm taking most of the atheist sides, or the evolutionists, because the Christians are so blinded by that Bible. They don't want to hear anybody else's opinion.
That's kind of that's an interesting thing to say, because now you're basically saying that like the Bible is blinding Christians.
It is.
How
It
can
really
that be?
is. I think atheists are more ready for the truth, because that's what you guys are waiting for. You're not going to believe anything without evidence. But it's kind of hard when you, and for example, for me, okay, here, I'll just throw a quick story out. Lately, the past 2 months, I've been just kind of just doing a whole self-cleansing thing. I got rid of video games, pornography, movies, music, all my crosses, statues of Jesus, all my angels, statues. I got rid of everything and threw it all away. All my
Oh
weapons, I got
no!
rid of weapons. Everything. I only have a computer, a phone, and a bed now. That's it.
Get
And
out of here!
yeah, I pray when I'm not working. I take care of my family whenever I pray when I'm not working, and meditate, or I come on the
Nice.
internet and learn and talk to people.
Nice.
Nice.
I mean, and then by doing that, the last like month, I've been getting visions and like revelations. Like the other day, the big one was I was doing some dishes, and something told me in my head that anything that keeps you from God or talking to me is the mark of the beast. That has to do with this microphone I'm talking in, the water bottle here, my phone. Anything that I'm distracting me from getting closer to God is the mark of the beast. But that's, again, something that came to me. I'm not preaching it as the scriptures or whatever. So that's, again, the quote-unquote Christians like to do, the Mormons, Jehovah's Witnesses, all of them. They're all a pain in the ass.
I have personally been on a quest, a spiritual thing that I've been going through,
Right.
and it always, for me, sort of ends up back at Jesus.
Yep.
However, after listening to Christians on here, I really don't want anything to do with it.
I heard what you said earlier. You said I had just logged in from coming home from work, and you said the guy was like preaching to you or something, and then you said I was about to turn to Jesus, and now I'm not going to because of you. I heard you say that. I was like, oh, that guy's killing you. That's
I
it was no
just,
good.
it was just, you know what? That guy loved himself. He loved to hear himself talk, and he
Oh, yeah.
thinks that he's very special.
Yep.
And you know, he'll say that he's a Calvinist, and he'll preach the gospel, yet Calvinists believe that you're either written in the book of life or you're not, which
Yep.
makes no sense to me. I mean, and then he started telling racial jokes, and I was like,
Oh,
what?
I heard that guy. I was, ugh.
I was
I'm on-
totally turned off by that.
Yeah,
I'm on
he's okay. Again, you have to. It's very simple, and again, my opinion: find God, the real God. If you just talk to Him and pray, and you focus on Him as much as you can during the day, because He knows we're down here in my, again, opinion, quote unquote, fallen realm. So He knows we're going to be distracted by sex, money, cars, all this crap that doesn't matter, because it's only a short time we're down here. Again, in my opinion, and
But do you
He
think
knows, huh?
do you think those things are quote sinful?
I don't really. I don't know if I subscribe to the sin theory as well, because it's. I think the Bible has some truth to it still,
Mhm.
and the devil, again, my opinion, I think he's in control of this planet, this world, this realm, and he let the Bible have some truth. So when they start matching up to true scriptures, or if you want to call like some of the Hebrew text true scriptures, if you want, I don't really care. Again, it's just a book, a piece of paper, then I'm not interested. Then I just think he let some of it into the Bible, especially like the New Testament, the King James, to trick people into thinking that they're worshiping God. Like tonight, I went to an adoration with my dad. He invited me to go hang out with him, whatever, and I went, and I was just like, I couldn't stand being in that building. It was so fake, and it just felt wrong. And I used to be Catholic. I was Catholic for like 3 or 4 years, and it felt okay at first because you think you found God, but if you really are called upon, your mind's open enough, you'll see how fake it is. I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys know I'm talking about the Catholic Church, and just the Pope alone and the Vatican's is bad news.
Oh, see, I was born and raised Roman Catholic, went to Catholic schools. It was going to be a priest the whole 9 yards.
Oh wow!
And my altar, my personal altar, is of the Blessed
Thank
Mother.
God you're not.
Um, my personal altar is, of to the Blessed Mother, but not so much as Jesus' mother, I don't think, but more of this sacred feminine, um, the creative aspect of the universe.
Right.
It's just an archetype that I am really attached to. And so people are like, oh, so you're not really an atheist. And I was like, well, other people call me an atheist. I don't call myself an atheist.
Well, you're just tired of all the crap, basically. You're
Oh
tired of
my
all the
God.
BS.
It
Yeah, you're
is
tired of all the
so.
human-led men word. It's men's word. It's not God's word. Once you let go of everything you need to let go, you don't have to get rid of your TV and PlayStation 4 and all this other crap to find what I find. But that's just the way I did it. I didn't think it was going to happen, but it did. And, I mean, God's going to answer you whenever he's ready. Once he sees you're committed in your heart and mind, then you'll never change. You'll never stop believing. It's like he opens the door for you. You can't get in yet, but you see the light.
So it's a form of being born again.
This is exactly what it is. It's really simple. I'm just telling people how I did it when I talk to people here or text chat somewhere else or in real life or at my work. It's the easiest thing to do. It's just give up everything that's keeping you from praying. I mean, you don't have to get rid of stuff like I did. I just did it because I'm never going to need it again. I knew he told me I was never going to need it again. You know, I put a faucet on my PlayStation 4 and 3. I destroyed it. Somebody else can use it ever again. So, and I broke a lot of my video games and I just didn't even faze me. It was just like just junk, basically. I mean, if you can just stop doing something. I was trying to challenge some. I like to call them Bible worshipers to just put the Bible for a month or two and just pray and meditate. And they couldn't even. They kept going back to the book. I heard them flipping the pages on the mic. You can hear the pages flipping. They kept going back to the book every 2 seconds.
Well, I used to say to Christians all the time, it's like, you call this Satan father of the lie and the great deceiver. What would stop this being from using the best-selling book of all times to lead you astray? And they're like, what? What are you talking about? And I'm like, oh, okay, never mind.
I have a thought on that I've been kind of ruminating about for a little while now. If you looked at early Christianity, like you had the Jews were actually like an oppressed group, undeniably by the Roman authorities, and the Romans were the oppressors, and so Christianity in its essence was there to give these people who were, I'm not Christian by the way, but I mean I know a little bit about it, who were being oppressed, hope, and tell them that things will happen. You are oppressed right now, but you will be able to deal with this, and you'll get through this, and your kingdom is with next life, and so on and so forth.
Yep.
But if you look at a lot of these Christians nowadays, and this came to mind because a lot of Christians on Twitter, which on occasion I'll follow, the whole Ferguson thing, are basically completely taking the sides of the police. And I'm thinking like, okay, these are clearly oppressed people. You might say that like the people who are getting shot are doing things bad here and there, but you can't. The oppressors are who are the Romans in this case, and who are the oppressed Jews. And I was trying to say this to people, like, you are siding with the Romans of the time, and you are putting Jesus on the cross. And I was trying to say this to people, and they were like, "Oh, you're blaspheming." And it's like, what is wrong with your like understanding that you have this distorted? I mean, I'm not even a Christian, but your distorted view of Christianity.
Right. Yeah, basically it all started with the Romans. They're the ones that, after Jesus died, they started messing with the Bible, or just I don't know, it just started getting corrupted from there, and then with King James and Constantine, and their sun worshiping with Ra and the Egyptian. That's where the cross came from, like the image of the cross. So that's false too. It's just tricking you. You don't need any man-made design. Like I have a picture of a dove as my icon I use everywhere. Now I do. And basically I don't think there's a way to corrupt that because it's an animal. and Jesus saw that, a dove, an animal flying when he was being, crucified and everything. So it's the only real symbol I can use for the Holy Spirit is a dove. So I mean, I won't use crosses anymore, or even the picture of Jesus that everybody or that man again created or painted or drawed for us to say, oh, this is what he looked like, and then I just don't do it anymore.
Can
Like
I
I used to
ask?
have. What's up?
Can I ask you what your definition of the Holy Spirit is?
Just to me, it's just they feel it in your soul, in your spirit. Like that's what I feel right now. Like I'm always smiling now. I used to be suicidal, depressed, stressed out, the whole 9 yards anxiety. I still have that a little bit, but it's going away. And like I have skin problems, that's clearing up. My anxiety's going away. I'm always up and down on my weight, but I'm starting to get lower on it. It just you just feel like you have the energy. You feel more alive, but at the same time you feel more disconnected from all this man-made material, like just objects. You don't feel any need for it anymore. So I guess my definition is when I found, you felt it. It's like you open the door, this light comes inside of you. Like, I don't know. It's like you're in a dark room and the door opens and there's light there. You
Okay.
can't go through it yet, but you can see it. You can see it, but you can't go through yet. And you stand there and you talk to it and you communicate. And it's like a light inside your spirit, not your heart and mind. And then you ask the Holy Spirit, this is what I did, to live through me and talk through me.
Okay, so you're not talking about the Holy Spirit of the Trinity.
What was that? I'm sorry.
So you're basically not talking about the Holy Spirit of the Trinity. You're talking about God communicating directly with you through this thing called the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, basically. It's like the energy. It's like the life force. That it's an invisible spirit of God. And then, Yahshua, which is Jesus, is the one that's giving you the message because, again, we can't hear God or see him or we'll die. He's just too mighty for us to even comprehend. So, again, that's why he sent Jesus down here. Or some people believe he sent a copy of himself down here to communicate with us. And he broke the curse on the planet, this realm, from Satan when he fell down with his angels. I don't know if anybody's seen Passions of Christ. It shows it pretty well, in my opinion, pretty well, when Jesus gets crucified, and it shows a scene of the devil screaming in the air and hell because the curse was broke when he got crucified. Now is our way out. It's like, I was explaining last night, some guys, they're on, I think Nadia's here as well. I think that was the only person over here. It's like you see a light way down in this tunnel, or not tunnel, like a hall, and there's these pillars of blackness, and you have to kind of keep moving around them, and every now and then you see the light, and you keep moving toward it, and that's basically your whole life until you. And to me, again, when you find the Holy Spirit and you feel it, and you finally find God and He answers you, you're at the door waiting already. Everybody else is down the hallway, still trying to make their way, and like somebody like me, again. I'm trying to show people where I'm like yelling, hey, over here, guys, like this is where you need to be, kind of like that kind of thing. And then again, in my opinion, when the tribulation comes, we're all going to go through it. Nobody's going to be, oh, you're a Christian or you're a true believer. No, everybody's going to go through it. And then when the rapture happens, that's when the door's going to be open. And some people will not die. They'll actually just ascend or transform. And then some people will. I mean, that's all in air right now, but I don't know. It's just right now I'm still learning as I go. So.
Well, I'm just glad you if this makes you happy and it improves your life that you found this way.
Right.
That's really cool. Although you are aware that you're going to be, ridiculed by the true Christian's trademark. Yeah.
I've been for about 2 months now. I've been getting hit hard. My dad is Catholic. Like big time, the whole family, but they're starting to accept it, at least, and respect my decision.
You said you went to adoration. Do you mean benediction?
I guess
adoration with the monstrance.
It was it's where you go for an hour or 30 minutes, whatever it was. I can't remember how long it was. I was just praying myself to Yahweh, which is and then yeah, his name, his God's name. But it's where you have it was a youth adoration for teenagers, and you go in there and pray. A priest says a few prayers with the deacon, and then they have two. Depends on the church. It has a place where you can confess, and then people are praying while people are waiting in line to go confess. And then my dad's a music minister there, so he was playing music with his band, and then that's basically what adoration is, just like a prayer. And then they burn incense and stuff, and they bless people, whatever, with this man-made stuff again. But yeah.
Well, what I wanted to know is it the big gold thing that holds the host in the middle and the priest bless you with that?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, I used to love that. Oh my God, that was one of my favorite things.
It's relaxing, but I don't know. I think that God, again, is so wise that he knows who's really trying to seek him, even though they might be in Mormon, Jehovah's Witness, Baptist, and he sees who's really trying to communicate, even though they're part of the church. And that's when, again, you're a good example of that, because you were feeling something during that, not some, I don't know. That's what I think. I think that you can still connect with them through religion, but most people are just, let's go to mass or church on Sundays, give our money to the priest, sit in the pew, pray for an hour, not an hour, like a couple minutes, and then the rest of the week let's sin and repeat it every week, and we can go make it to heaven. That's not how it works, in my opinion. Again, can't just have like a part-time love affair with them. You have to keep talking to them, and like every day I pray. I'm always praying, always thinking and meditating, and I feel more closer every day. Every day, like tomorrow I'll do it all over again.
What do you think about Muslims who pray 5 times a day?
Muslims? I don't really want to say anything about the Muslim faith because I don't know not much about it. But in my opinion, I'm just going to leave it like this. I think it was created by God he made an enemy for the so-called Christian religion, and to trick everybody, so they can fight for all these generations, and that's to trick people. But that's all I'm going to say about that. Forrest Gump style.
Fair enough. I like the ending.
I think they're evil. No, I'm just kidding.
I know a lot of good Muslims from work and everything. There's a lot of good people. It's just another example of being tricked by a religion and fleshly, earthly, man-made, pagan, New Age desires. It's just another trick. And again, God allows these things to happen to, again, in my opinion, to trick us and to test our faith. And it's a perfect thing to do because it's destroyed half the world. So
I'll tell you what, though. I had an ex-lover of mine was Muslim,
right.
And one of the kindest, most loving men that he was an extraordinary human being.
Right.
And that's really all the exposure I've really had to Muslims. Yeah, I was just like, wow. I heard people talk badly about Muslims. And I was shocked. I was like, what? That doesn't come close to a Muslim that I knew.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think that even Muslims and Buddhists and Taoists and I don't know what else I'm forgetting. Even New Agers, they do find God if they really have it in their heart and their mind. So I don't think anybody's lost if you're in a religion. I don't think it's not necessary. If people need to do that to find them, okay, fine, go ahead. If you need to read the Bible over and over again, then that's what you gotta do. But again, you have to put it down at some point and have a relationship. And a lot of Muslims do pray all the time, so that's one way they can actually, again, if they are really truthful, find God that way. So they do have to pray 5 times. That gives you a lot of opportunities during the day. You don't have an excuse, I guess.
Nadia, you're not. Not sure I ever believed what.
Religion.
Oh, I was very Catholic. I was very Catholic. Yeah, and then from that I went uh, to being a born again Christian, um, which was interesting.
How did you
And
reconcile that with you being gay?
that's why I became a born again Christian so that I wouldn't be gay anymore. And
Wow.
I got married, and because I wanted to please God. Um, and what that did was it really fucked up some lives. It fucked up my wife's, life. It fucked up my stepdaughter's life. It fucked up my life.
Hmm.
But I was doing what I thought was right at the time.
Right, right. I don't subscribe to that whole, oh, if you're gay, I can't say it. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Transgender, homosexual, lesbian. I don't subscribe to that with their. That's another part of the Bible I think has been tampered with. I don't think that God is
without
judging
doubt.
people like that because it's just too earthly. It's not, it doesn't make any sense. Why would he judge you for what you want to do? It's just, I
Well,
don't
it's
think.
not even what you want to do. I mean, I don't know of anybody that would choose to be gay.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but in Leviticus, Leviticus specifically says, a man left the natural use of his woman and laid with a man. Now, does that mean that gay people are bad, or a straight man who fucks around with a gay man behind his woman's back? And then also in the Old Testament, at one point, the translation isn't homosexual at all. It's a male temple prostitute, which is a totally different thing. And then in 1 Corinthians 6:9, the word there is actually effeminate. So homosexuality itself, and we could go to Sodom and Gomorrah. In the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, the scriptures specifically say that the sin was inhospitality, not homosexuality, not rape, or anything like that. I mean, I don't think a lot of Christians listen to preachers and don't really actually read. And,
Yep.
and it's quite sad that all this hate comes from these pulpits.
They're looking for God through a man. That's the biggest issue I have with it. I mean, I don't need the Pope or a Baptist church pastor to get me close to God. You just talk to him and pray. That's it. It's really simple.
Yeah.
Are you atheist now, Mark?
Am I atheist? I would have to say that I'm pantheist. Um, um,
You're looking for the truth.
uh, no, if you ask any Christian, what has no beginning, has no end, cannot be created, and cannot be destroyed, they're going to say God, when in fact that's energy. The energy is the only thing that fits that description, and I believe that energy. The energy connects us all. We cannot be separated from the energy. It's a mathematical, physical impossibility. We don't need to relink to this energy because we can't be separated from it. And because of the fact that this energy involves the everything, the absolute, Christianity is completely valid. Um, uh, Catholicism is completely valid. Any religion is completely valid. Any thought is completely valid.
Do you know many gay lesbian people or?
I know some because I really don't identify as gay. I identify
Oh,
as
you do?
as homosexual.
Oh, okay.
Gay to me brings to mind a parade that they call Pride, and it's led by a drag queen on a skateboard going down Main Street, and that is certainly not who I am, and it doesn't represent who I am.
Huh.
Who I have, my sexuality is just a very small part of who I am as a human
Right.
being.
Do you
Um,
know many homosexual people who have a traditional religious belief that like a traditional Christianity belief, like a Protestant or Baptist or Catholic or who follow
no,
that faith?
no.
Okay.
No, I don't.
Because we're trying to figure out like how would you reconcile being in that faith and also living a homosexual lifestyle,
Well,
which
by proper translation of the scriptures, you could do that. The scriptures, if you look at the the correct translation, does not condemn homosexuality per se.
right.
It does condemn certain aspects of behavior, such as male temple prostitutes, um, men who leave the natural use of their woman and lay with another man. But actually, the Bible never says homosexuality is a
Right.
sin.
But traditional churches would be against that.
Not
Any
that
organized, or not necessarily all of them. I think was mentioned that there's some that isn't.
the Church of Christ,
Okay.
the United Church of Christ,
Okay.
Unitarian Universalism. Um, yeah,
Oh, really? Okay.
sure.
Episcopalian and Metropolitan Community Church too.
There you go. Preach it, sister.
What'd you say? What did she say?
the
Episcopalians and the Metropolitan Community Church.
See, I didn't know that.
The Episcopalians even have a gay priest and a trans bishop.
Right.
Hmm.
And in Hinduism,
Interesting.
it doesn't matter because of the fact that unless, whether you're straight or gay, unless you're having sex for procreation, it's just wrong to them altogether. Depending what caste you're in, it gets really complicated with Hinduism. So homosexuality isn't really an issue. As a matter of fact, when a spiritual master of mine gave me my spiritual name, it was Radhi Ji Hadari Das. Radhi is Radha, who is Krishna's female lover. So there was a little tongue-in-cheek there with when I got my spiritual name, when I was initiated.
How about Buddhism? Do you know anything about that?
Buddhism, no. I started studying Buddhism, and my very first class, when they said that Buddha was born out of his mother's side and he was walking and talking, I was like, I'm done. Yeah, and it's too much discipline for me. Yeah.
So you kind of hold a combination of beliefs, like an eclectic sort of.
I believe that anyone's beliefs are valid, and I hold the teachings of Jesus to be closest to what I believe. No, I'm not talking about what Paul has to say about Jesus or what Timothy has to say about Jesus. I'm talking about the words that supposedly were spoken by Jesus. I hold my beliefs are closer to that than anything else.
Do you hold Jesus divine or no? Or,
No. Well, we're all divine, but
I mean, as God,
no.
as a God figure, or one with God. Okay.
Part of God.
But no different than any other. Would you consider him a prophet?
As much as I would consider Prince, the artist, a prophet, sure.
Well, I guess he could be. I guess you consider that.
I don't know. We don't. Ah, there's Commando. Reinforcements have arrived.
Oh, you're a dove, Brian. I wonder if blue jays and doves get along.
Do they get along? I don't know. I hope so.
I don't know. We're pretty protective around our
Blue
nest.
jays don't get along with anything.
No.
Oh no, they're evil birds. The Bible says so.
Well, long as keep a distance, I guess.
Yeah, they're nasty. If I see a blue jay in the yard, I make sure I don't let my dog out.
Really?
Because they swoop down and peck her.
Yeah, we tend to do that. Commando.
Yeah, who
Huh?
was Commando? I don't think I've met Commando.
That's my buddy. Commando, you there?
Yo.
He's the only person I've met on here that is anywhere near where, like, understanding what I'm talking about.
Okay.
What happened last night, Commando? You just went to sleep or what?
No, I just got pissed off.
Oh, that's nice. You can't let people piss you off, man. You have to just let them say what they're gonna say.
Yeah, true, but it just it gets to a point. Then
Yeah.
I'm not good with anger because I mean I could have said stuff that I would have regretted. So.
Was that in
True.
this room, Amanda?
Sure.
Pardon?
Was that in this room?
It was in the hangout last night.
Yeah.
Must have been after I left.
I might have.
Still wouldn't.
Was Von
Yeah,
Helton in
yeah,
there?
because you were on with Vaughn, Mark. Von Helton was on with you, and I just jumped in after you left. So this guy, he was pretty bad. He wouldn't shut up.
Von Helton?
Just kept going on. And when you left Commando, it was the same crap. I had to take the atheist side after you left because I didn't have any reinforcements. These Bible thumpers, man, crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
I just wish people would understand that there really are no sides.
Well, that's what I was gonna say to you, Mark. I just remembered. Like, again, my opinion. I don't think any of us have 100% full concrete proof that God's real.
Right.
Now, me and Commando can tell you how we feel every day after what we did to find God, but we still don't have like the 100% proof. He's not going to give it to us because
Yeah.
one,
I mean,
it's
after last night, I'm sort of sliding towards like solipsism. Like I no longer care. I really
Right.
no longer care. Like I just like all I know is that I'm in some sort of fucking matrix. Everybody hates me, and Jesus Christ is like the only logical thing that makes sense. To be honest.
I'm in the
Nice.
same boat, my friend. In the same boat.
Nice. Well, you heard, Brian, what I said earlier. I
Right.
told that guy earlier I was this close to accepting Jesus, so you just fucked it up for me.
Well, yeah. Oh, we got to tell Commando about that. So he was talking to some really Bible thumping, wouldn't stop
Calvinist.
talking. Yeah, he's in love with his voice, with his ego, his I don't know, whatever. He was a mega church person. He just loves to get in front. He's like Hitler. He sounds like Hitler. Same kind of.
A Calvinist.
Yeah, basically. So he was. I mean, I jumped in. I just got home from work and I heard Mark talking. And I recognized him from last night. And then I heard this guy talking, and I heard from Mark, "Oh, I was just close to accepting Jesus, and you ruined it." And he's like, "Oh, well, you weren't there anyway." Well, I mean, I'm not. You can't. Again, I've been trying to. I mean, not trying. I've just been saying, Commando, that you can't find God for the most part through religion and organized faith and all that stuff. It's only after you get rid of all fleshly
No,
desires.
it's when you give up. It's when you go, do you know what? I'm sick of everything, and you just descend into that abyss, and you were born again, and that's how you find Christ. I couldn't give a fuck what anybody on these hangouts tells me. That's how you do it. You don't find Christ by reading a fucking book. You don't. You know what I'm saying? It's just, yeah. I mean, anybody who's still clinging to those those compilation of texts and trying to claim that they know Christ is completely full of shit, and they can enjoy the hellfire that they're bound to.
Like, this is my second night doing this, well, on Google Plus anyway, and I prayed before I did anything after work here, and he told me to get on here and start talking again and communicating. I mean, I'm not even praying right now, but I'm thinking about him, so that is one side of it.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to let him live through me, and like I was explaining to Mark, like I said last night about the hall, the big hall that everybody's in, and it's black pillars, and at the end of the hall or room, there's a white light. And I was saying, like, me and you, Commander, are down there trying to tell people, hey, this way, guys, not that way, over here. We're trying to lead people.
And everyone's just sort of walking past with the occasional glance, going, "Oh, look, that looks interesting," but nah, the Bible says this, and they just walk by. So
that's funny you said that too, because when I was going, like, my dad's Catholic, and he invited me to go to Adoration night, and I just went to go hang out with him, just to hang out. And as we're driving in the clouds, there was like a little rainbow cloud phenomenon going on. Guess whose face I saw? Jesus.
Yeah.
So it was. I keep seeing him everywhere. I see doves everywhere now. 2 pair doves, 3 pair. I see Jesus like everywhere.
There'll be
man.
some sort of synchronistic relevance to that, but
Yep.
I mean, I don't get sort of signs or visions or divine things like that. I just sort of fucking, I get told, oh look, this is how it works, and I'm like, oh great. So,
He has different ways because you're different from me. So he has different ways of showing you or talking to you. That's the amazing part of it. He doesn't do the same thing to everybody.
It's called, what all these supposed Christians talk about, a personal relationship with Jesus.
Yeah, I guess it is.
yeah, but theirs isn't legitimate though. I mean,
Exactly.
the thing they're tapping into, I can tell you 100%, is a mirror-based thought form. That's exactly what they're tapping into. It's a parasitic thing that mirrors all sort of gnosis that we get through the real Jesus Christ. And it mimics that in an astral realm. They tap into it and mirror it themselves. So it comes across as legitimate, but it's not.
Yeah.
And I mean, and not to sound sort of nuts, but I have the notes right next to me that I've wrote down through Revelation that can back that up.
Oh yeah, I mean that's.
So I could prove that if I was given the platform.
I
But
think what you need to do, Commando, is not try to prove to anybody. Just talk. Like I don't have any notes next to me. I'm just talking, just sitting there looking at the walls. Because again, I don't have anything in my room now.
Is there any behavior that you would consider that would prevent salvation in a person?
Yeah.
Fleshly desires, everything on this earth is preventing. As long, right now, I'm using this to talk. Like the Holy Spirit's talking through me. I'm not I don't know. It's hard to explain. I want to do it, but it's not like I'm choosing it. It's like He lives through you once you find Him.
Well, what would prevent salvation?
Doing what Vecna does.
Everything on the planet. Like if you're into video games like I was, that's
attachment is what you're saying. Attachment.
That's my opinion.
Like what would send you to hellfire?
Everything. Like I mean, I don't know. I mean,
well,
Commando thinks
everything we're all screwed.
Well, I mean, Commando. I know you explained it last night, Commando, about how he's going to put after the rapture and the tribulation, all that happens. There's going to be a place where people were trying to find God, but they didn't, and he's going to put you in a toy box or something like that. I don't know if you.
No, it's basically the parable of the wheat and the tares. It's explained in scripture. I mean, what that's about when he's referring to gather the wheat into my barn, he's talking about anybody that's either been through that born again process or is genuinely seeking a way out of this sort of matrix. So
right.
So you do believe in hellfire, like it permanent?
No, it's not a permanent thing. It's more of a temporal realm that'll sort of balance out the karmic debt of everyone that doesn't sort of want to get out of this reality. So, but it is a very real thing for sure.
But do you believe everybody attains salvation eventually after a refinement or?
Hang on one sec. I'm just going to do something. Be back in a minute. Hold on, something.
Well, it does say in Revelations that every knee shall bend and every voice shall proclaim that Jesus Christ is Lord. If you want to go with the scriptures.
Right. So there could be a theory. I'm sorry.
And it also says in Revelations that death and hell are cast into the lake of fire. So hell can't possibly be the lake of fire. Right?
I just think the lake of fire is not existing anymore. And again, this is my own personal opinion. I think the only entity, life form thing that's going to be cast into the lake of fire, which is not exist anymore, is Satan. For this realm, this is just our storyline here. There might be other planets where God has something else going on there, testing different things. But here, it's Satan, and I think he'll be the one that ultimately no longer exists or is in the void by himself forever. Because he's the one that started this. He's the one that started the curse. Jesus Christ broke it, and that's what Commando's saying about he's going to put you aside and try to figure out what to do with you later on. But he's not going to forsake everybody.
Isn't there a passage in the Bible that says sinners will also be thrown in the lake of fire? Is that Revelations?
Well, here's the interesting thing about that. There are 1, 2, 3 words. One is Hebrew, and 2 are Greek, and all of those words are given the same English word, which is hell. The first one is Hades.
Right.
which is in the which is Hebrew, and it means the world of the dead, the common grave. Okay, then the Greek equivalent to that is Sheol. So there we just did away with two English words, hell, that don't mean lake of fire at all.
No, they mean things that aren't seen. It's a reference to the new world. It's a reference to the transfigured matrix.
Right, and the other word, which is either Greek or Aramaic, would be Gehenna. Jesus was speaking and said, "What was if you do such and such, you're worthy of the fires of Gehenna." Now, Gehenna was the city dump outside of Jerusalem where they would burn their refuse and everything. And if you were convicted of a crime, he was figuratively speaking, if you were convicted of a crime and were not worthy of a memorial tomb, your body was cast into the fires of Gehenna.
Right.
So, you just can't take the Bible as it's been presented to us and think that it hasn't been fucked with.
I'd agree with that. But
And-
there's also so many. I mean, there's also so many levels of understanding within those bit of text. It's just ridiculous when you sort of understand it. I mean,
Here,
Absolutely, I agree with you 100%.
I'm gonna make a confession here in a second when you guys are done. Just real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
So today, I did have another revelation today, and I still had a few, like I was talking about earlier, like little statues of Jesus and angels and stuff. I threw all those away as well. I also got rid of all my books, and I tore a Bible up today. God told me to tear it up and throw it away. And so I did it.
probably wouldn't have done that, to be fair. But
Why not?
it's a good reference point. But other than that, I mean, fair enough. Like, we're on the same page. If that's what you feel you've got to do, then fine. But
Man, it's just, I don't know.
Well, the scriptures themselves say that God's word is written in your heart. So,
Yep.
I mean,
That's why I don't need it anymore.
yeah, and if you follow that, you can't get much more personal of a relationship with God, can you?
Yep, I hear you.
yeah.
Well,
I suppose it's like I said. I mean, if you have that confidence to sort of do that, then that's fine. I just like to sort of keep
I feel even better right now tonight. I did that before I went to the Catholic Church thing, so I ripped it up and I said I don't need this anymore, and I prayed, and then that was it.
You didn't throw any statues of Mary away, did you?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love Mary.
No, I do too, but I don't need that to think of her as the mother of God.
But that's what my altar is. My altar.
I know.
Yeah.
I love Mary too, and then when I was Catholic, I had the rosary and I did that and had really nice statues, but I got rid of them.
The whole Virgin Mary thing is quite misunderstood. It's not literally talking about a woman who gave birth without intercourse or whatever. It's talking about it's talking about an immaculate conception through two sort of born again people. That's how the Messiah is born, and that's how it's brought into this world, and that's where you're going to see this false Messiah arise from.
True.
Born out of a soulmate connection, an immaculate conception, not bound by sort of metaphysical, burdens and whatnot.
My question is, so you're saying that, well, there's nothing you can do to ultimately prevent salvation. To eventually, you will go through processes. So what will prevent you from going through that refinement? I mean, what should you and should not be doing in life?
I'm just, again, my whole story I'm giving you is my own style, whatever, my own way of doing it, and every day I feel better. So you can.
Are you three on the same page, like Commando, Brian, and Mark?
We're like,
no.
Well, Mark I just met, and then Commando I met last night. So me and him, I'd say about 90-95% on the same page. We have a couple different views, but I mean that's his personal. Being a human, everybody has different views on stuff. We're not on the next level yet. We're still down here with our really crappy brains we have.
Well, let's say you're going out doing whatever it is that you want without pretty much disregard for much of any kind of God's law, as opposed to a person. What would happen to that person, and what's the alternative of what life are you trying to live, and what result will that get you? That's what I'm trying to get at.
Well, what do you mean? I mean, it's a good question, but could you be a bit more specific? Like, I know what you're getting at. But
Sure. Let's say, well, maybe I believe in God, maybe I don't, but I go out, I go out, I have sex, I do whatever it is that I want to do, drink,
Right.
smoke,
Yeah.
and give no regard to anything spiritual.
Right.
Or okay, and then the opposite. What would you get for that? And then what other possibilities are there if you wanted to live more of a righteous life? What would that lead to, and what would you have to do to?
Well, just real quick before we get into that, Jesus and God said that anytime you have sex with a woman, you're bond, or man, whatever.
Or a
Anytime you
man
have
or
sex, you're
anything.
bond with that soul.
Yeah, you create a
That's-
soul tie.
Yeah,
Very
you have to
and that's why
you
you'll
have to-
see. That's why you'll see like adultery being pushed in these end times quite frequently because they want to create as many soul ties as possible. And being born again, you purge yourself of that, and that's
See,
what.
me
You know.
and
So
Commander-
when you have sex, you're connecting the two souls together.
Yeah, you share sort of metaphysical aspects or energies with each other that encrypt themselves into your.
For a permanent bond, or
Why do you think there's so much drama in the world with men and
Exactly.
women?
It's permanent until you purge yourself of those metaphysical contracts. So you can get rid of that through prayer, but depending on the entity that you talk to, there's ramifications for that. If you're born again, which is what Christ tells us to do, you purge yourself of everything, which is the way you shouldn't be doing it.
Which is flesh.
So, for example, let's say you've banged like 40 chicks in your life, like you're married to all 40, and according to
good
Testament,
Lord.
I'm
fucked.
And according to Old Testament law,
Nobody's ever lost.
You can't do that according to the
Right.
God of this world. So,
Well, basically, it's simple. This is the simple, and me and Commando's terms. You have to renounce everything of this earth, everything, and that means your family, because they're getting in the way of God. Then bye. You have to. You have to get rid of everything.
what are the ramifications if you don't? After death.
you stay bound to the earth.
Yeah,
Like I said, the born again thing is crucial. If that doesn't happen, you're a subject to death. You're a subject to linear time, and this God can do whatever it wants with you.
to madness, basically darkness, pure void.
But eventually, you said you get refined anyway.
Well, why
Well, I
would
suppose,
you?
but it'll still be against your sort of consent because I believe that any sentient being that exists in this matrix didn't consent to exist within it.
Yeah,
So I
and what if-
suppose you would exist in some awesome, cool little matrix that it's set up for you, but you'd still be oppressed. You'd still be subject to the same sort of shit we experience here, except in a sort of.
So, what would be the ideal way of living your ideal life?
Just give up everything, man. Everything that's keeping you from God and prayer.
Okay, so basically, to make it easy, that would mean, I think,
Right.
to give up any worldly attachments.
Yes.
Kind of like a Buddhist type of.
No, because the Buddha, the Buddhists aren't. They've not been born again. They haven't purged those metaphysical binds. What the Buddhists do is access the highest realm of
that's
heaven.
New
They
Age.
access the seventh heaven, which is where Yaldabaoth resides. So what Buddhists do is basically sort of in tune with that. And that's where they get the
That's
sort of
perfect. Yes, because there's a false thing going on here with Satan. There's a high angel light level that he tricks people with, which is a New Age and pagan, and then there's a low level, which is just Satan occult stuff. That's how they trick you, and there's a middle ground, and that's where Jesus broke through a little tiny hole for us to go through, and that's the only escape out of it.
So Jesus is crucial to this process.
Yes.
Indeed.
Okay, but let me make it clear that Brian, Commando, and I are not on the same page.
Okay.
I understand the concepts, but I certainly don't agree with them.
Okay. Fine. No biggie.
No, I mean it was asked.
I'm gonna admit that it is hard because oh man, this past summer and winter I was addicted to a video game and I would never even thought of any of this stuff. I would have been with you guys just totally against all this. I was close to becoming atheist again, and it just snapped one day. So I can't remember what day in January. It just snapped in my brain. Wake up! It's time. Let's go. Let's get moving. And I started, okay, let me just start studying the Bible again. Start there and scriptures. And then from there, I just started noticing I don't need that anymore. And I started praying. Then I started getting rid of stuff, video games, TVs, surround sound system, everything. I got rid of it. And I didn't sell it. He told me not to sell it. He told me to get rid of it or destroy it. to
And
know
I
they can use it
I
again.
definitely believe that a minimalist lifestyle is essential for spiritual growth. Um,
That's what I'm doing now. I
yeah.
got rid of more stuff today, like the Bible. I ripped that up. I got rid of all these idols I had around. I have nothing now. I don't need it. I'm happy.
Okay, I'm more as far as Flip was asking. I do not believe that Jesus Christ is the only way. Um,
Okay.
Well, you can do
and
it yourself, but it proves. I mean, it does sort of prove futile and pointless when Christ has done what he needed to do to sort of make it easier for you. So, I mean,
right, well,
it's
I don't
impossible.
see
But
the need for being born again at all. Um,
Hmm.
I think that the whole born again concept is taken way out of context, um, and it's been made into some Christian
Religiosity.
ritual.
yeah, it's
Um,
been. I mean, people sort of attribute being born again with repentance when it's not the same thing.
no,
Yeah.
absolutely not. And
Uh,
I mean, I think we're pretty close,
right.
but being a pantheist, I think that everyone's belief system is valid.
Okay. No, I kind of agree with you. Like, I think that again, my theory here that Buddhism, the Indian religion, Muslim. There's other. I think I said this earlier. Yeah, that those people that are praying and doing what they're doing there, if they're really trying to seek the true God through that, because that's all they know, or whatever, then God is ultimately a billion, trillion, infinity wisdom above us will know that. He'll know in your heart and your mind, your soul, that you were trying to look for him. So I think you can find it through every religions, but once you know the real truth, again, in me and Commando's opinion, then you have to stick with that. Once you know his real name, Yahshua, Jesus, and Yahweh, God,
I disagree
then
with that Yahweh being God, but
oh well,
Yahweh
leave
is
Yahweh as a
actually the
name.
creator of matter, which to me,
Exactly, that's the demiurge. That's the problem. So
absolutely not. See, that I agree with.
yeah,
hmm,
And it's so odd to actually hear somebody else say that because you know
yeah.
it's just generally not you don't
Well,
say
Yahweh
that.
is Yaltaboth. It's the King Archon. It's the demiurge maintainer. It is the devil, if you will.
Wouldn't
Exactly. So would you agree that the Elohim, um,
It's a conspiracy of 7 ultra-terrestrial beings that made a glitch in the original intent and created this physical universe within it.
wouldn't Yahweh stay in a way of your soul after death?
What was that?
yes,
Sorry.
yes.
Wouldn't Yahweh stay? Wouldn't he after death? Wouldn't Yahweh, the demiurge, stay? Get involved in your soul after death to
If
prevent it from ascension?
if, if you've not been born again, yeah. It's like I said, if you've not gone through that process, you're subject to its machinations.
So
If
the
you've not put
God,
yourself through those things, then you're not bound by it. That's what
so,
Christ came to sort of do.
so the God that most people worship is evil.
Yeah, 100% worse than Satan because it allows it to exist and it's
What
more
ab-
cunning, it's more manipulative.
what about Lucifer?
Lucifer is Gabriel,
Okay.
which is one of the Elohim.
Is that's not of Yahweh, Gabriel?
And none of
No.
they're all in subservience to Yahweh. It's like I said, it's a conspiracy of 7 ultra-terrestrial beings that fall under the command of one, which is Yaltaboth Yahweh.
And the true
hmm.
God has an army, or is it just himself
Um,
singularly?
the true God is the true state of being where we should be. All of this all of what we experience exists in a glitch, in a gap, in a void. It shouldn't exist. It's a transitionary reality. It's not, you know.
Kind of like a net that's surrounding it.
Yeah, it's funny you should mention that actually, because the internet and the outer net and transfiguration are also a part of that.
So what's God's real name then?
Doesn't have one. It doesn't need one. It's just the true state of being, or the monad, or pleroma, or
Huh.
or profundity, or depth, or bythos. That's that's the real sort of realm in which Christ came from. Yahweh is just the name of, like I said, this archon that's fucked everything up.
I
Huh.
call it the energy.
Interesting.
Why did the true Creator allow the demiurge to have control? Is it follow the Bible in any way?
The true state of being it can't sort of help what happened. It's like I said, Yahweh sort of exploited a glitch in the original state of being. If you get what I'm saying. If that makes
Right.
sense.
Why did he have the ability to do that?
It's a very interesting question. It ties into a theory that I've been sort of compiling and researching, which is a scroll thief theory, which is basically the idea that that Yahweh came to sort of understand the game, or the original state of being, if you will, and sort of sought to corrupt it, sought to learn from it, and thus this whole thing was made.
So, how do you pray when you pray, Commando?
I just pronounced the physical. You just close your eyes and you tap into the higher.
Huh.
Mine's
So you
usually, what the fuck are
So
you
you don't say
putting?
God at all? You don't say anything?
So, how do you believe humans got here? What was the process behind the earth and the human?
Uh-oh.
Is in the flesh, or is in the sentience that's in the flesh?
In the flesh.
So, like our fleshly bodies,
Yeah. At what point? When were we
they were created.
created? Would
They
that
were,
be the right word?
well, yeah, basically they were created / engineered / analyzed and then implemented into the matter-based reality that we're in
For what purpose?
to experience.
Vlad.
So, was this from the demiurge or is this from the creator?
The demiurge is a sort of it's a machine basically. It projects the physical universe according to a divine will. So the divine will in this case would be Yahweh. So physicality is projected according to its command. It's not necessarily the demiurge that's the problem. It's sort of the thing that projects what we experience.
And when did you get interested in Gnosticism?
About I'd probably say about a year, 2 years ago. When I
Very
was 18.
nice. Very nice. I find it fascinating.
I know you recommended 3 books to me once, but I don't remember if I saved them to a notepad.
So do you talk to Yeshua at all?
Yeah, the real
Commando?
Jesus Christ. I access the thought form that Christ has created, the true.
So I shouldn't be praying to Yahweh. That's great.
I mean, the thing that you probably communicate with isn't Yahweh, but the fact that you attribute it to Yahweh could be a problem. But
Well, I
it's
got
like I said,
that
if you
from
can relate to
Alan.
me in any way, then chances are you're tapping into the same thing I am, which is a good thing. But I wouldn't refer to it as Yahweh.
Okay, so I'll just say God again, I guess, and Yeshua.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess it makes sense. God doesn't need a name. It kind of made sense to me. And Ephraim, that's a
Elohim.
Elohim. What is that again? Commando?
Yeah, he would be able to explain it better than me.
The Elohim is basically a gang of 7 archons.
Oh, okay. So it's all another spy of the devil, basically, of Satan.
The 7 archons are the angels that are spoke of in Jewish mysticism, if you will, with Yahweh being the sort of commander of them.
So where do they come from, though? What are they?
They're sentient beings and they're all right. They conspired with Yahweh to create this physical trap.
So that's basically Satan. Those people, like
Satan's one of them. Satan is the word Satan itself means adversary, but if you follow the etymology back, it's referring to the angel Samael, which is Satan. It's an angel that's tasked with collecting men's souls and distributing them, to certain realms and torture and whatnot.
Is Sophia part of the Elohim?
No, Sophia is a concept in which how the void was formed. The whole separation of Sophia and the true state, or whatever it is. I mean, through that sort of split, this is how physicality was birthed.
Interesting. So I guess this Yeshua is the only real name.
Indeed.
The
it's like I said. It's about the intent. If you want to call him Yeshua, that's fine. If you want to call him Jesus Christ, that's fine. As long as it's the same.
I'll just call God, I guess, or I'll just pray to. I think I'm thinking lately the best way to pray is just directly to Jesus, Yeshua.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. Yeah.
This book right here is what got me involved.
Huh? What's that? Genosis. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Did you see the book there, Commando?
I've got my thing on low bandwidth. I can't see people.
Oh, it's Gnosis of the Cosmic Christ.
Oh yeah.
Wait a minute, who farted?
It wasn't me.
I put my mic down to clean my glasses. Sorry.
I don't fart. So.
Well, I'll have to look more into that Yahweh thing, but I think it's a good idea. I'll just start praying directly to Jesus, and that's it.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it. Like.
All right.
Vlad, love you dearly, but fuck off.
We got to take off, Mark?
No, I told Vlad, and he's in the side chat. I was like, I love you dearly, but fuck off.
Oh.
He said maybe we should invite Brett Keane.
That he's some Bible worshippers or something?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, cool. I'm sure me and Commando are up for a debate again, or whatever.
Well, that's where I have a problem. The debate thing, I don't get it.
I don't like it either. I'm with you. I don't like arguing. I don't like sitting there. I'll defend it, but I'm not gonna like start flipping through books and stuff.
The reason I come on here is to sort of spot people who I know who are on the sort of right path to getting true salvation. I can tell you right now, I mean, not to sound sort of arrogant or as if I have any authority to say this, but I can tell you from the people that I've experienced on Google Hangouts, out of everyone I've met, I'd say at least 5 people are on the right sort of path.
So I'm one of the 5. Wow.
Indeed.
That's crazy. I just don't. I mean, I don't think they're gonna listen to us anyway if they're really not being truthful and they really want the truth, because if they keep going back to that book,
they don't want the truth. They want something to sort of numb the pain of their existence. That's what it is.
Until they can get it through their thick skulls. Like basically, I was the same way though, and God said, no more. Or Joshua did. He said, you're not doing that anymore. You're done. You're gonna come to me, and that's it. You know, that's basically how I feel right now. He saved me. Oh.
What was that?
I think you can like do a clap thing or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you can do the special effects.
Nice. Well, thank you. So, all right. Well, I don't know. Yeah, they have potential to be saved, but they just keep going back. Maybe that's why Joshua.
Like, if you consider karmic law, some of them might have already made the choice as to which realm they're going to exist within anyway, so some people are a lost cause. And this is where the sort of... I mean, John Calvin understood this when he was, you know, the whole Calvinist movement thing.
Right.
What John Calvin was looking into with the whole predestination stuff, it sort of ties in with what I was getting at there.
Do you think that there's some human beings that are chosen at the beginning to live this life and suffer like me and you both have, and then one day awaken before the end times?
It'll have a lot to do with karmic debt. It depends. Like if you were part of the original fall, then there'll be a debt accumulated. However, if you're a Gnostic or if you're someone who followed with Christ to sort of help out, if you will, then you know obviously your sort of conditions will be different.
Interesting.
I mean, this is why Christ was like pure and unbound by it, because he sort of analysed what was going on and went into it with the foreknowledge of how it takes, and that's how he managed to sort of bridge the 7 heavens through the sacrifice on the cross. It's genius if you look into it. Like I've got loads of notes here with sort of mathematical and sort of diagrams and proof and shit, sort of explaining how it works. But
no, I'm with you. I've seen it all from around Saturn's eye, but now I don't know. Do you think he was crucified on a cross, or do you think that?
Yeah, it had to have been. It ties in with his message. All the synchronistics add up. So yeah, for sure he was for sure crucified on a cross.
Well, according to Scripture,
I came to bring a sword, the sword in the stone. The Son of Man must be raised up as Moses' rod in the desert, etc.
But it wasn't a cross. Do you believe it was a cross?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Now,
because
do you think somebody has a cross, like an image of a cross? Do you think that's bad?
It doesn't really matter what symbols you use; it's about the intent behind it. Like, I mean, if you wanted to use a sort of satanic star as your symbol, as long as you're telling the truth, it doesn't really matter. It's about the intent behind it.
That's
But
interesting.
obviously, it helps to sort of discern what symbols mean what. But
True.
If you go with the say the Jehovah's Witness translation, well, not even it's not just Jehovah's Witness. The word for cross was actually staros, which is a stake. He was impaled on a stake, so that's why they reject the crucifix and the cross.
Just on a side note, real quick, I think that's why he had me come on tonight, so I can hear Commando tell me not to say Yahweh anymore, and that's
if that's what you believe, you know what I mean. If that's what you think your synchronicities have led you to, then that's fair enough. You know.
I think so, man. I think so.
Is practicing lesser or higher magic something that shouldn't be done?
Magic? Ooh, wow. Ouch.
Right, magic is basically sort of metaphysical engineering. So
yeah,
I suppose if you're born again and you know what you're doing, you could sort of practice that for a benevolent cause. But if you're not born again and you're sort of part of the mechanics of the matrix, if you will, then probably wouldn't recommend it.
By born again, what do you mean exactly? Are you talking about in the Christian sense or a different sense?
Well, the Christian sense hijacked it from the Gnostic sense, but
yeah,
it's basically talking about the purging of all metaphysical binds, all spiritual binds, all everything.
What's the process of that?
It's depression, which leads to derealization, which leads to the born again sort of revelation.
Yep.
It's like an extreme sort of. It's a horrible process. Don't get me wrong. It's terrifying, but it's required.
So it's not getting on your knees and proclaiming Jesus is your savior. That's not what you're talking about.
No, not at all. It's
you have to I mean, there's like me and Commando went all the way to the bottom, as far as you can go, and then he saves you basically.
That's where Christ is. That's what Christ means by open the door and he'll be there. You have to go to the door, and that door out of this world, that fire exit out of this world is that depression vortex.
The red pill or the blue pill?
Is it like that saying, once you've lost everything, you can do anything type of
Pretty
thing?
much.
Pretty much, yeah. You transcend morality, you transcend duality, you transcend physicality, you transcend it all.
Yep.
And you'll see that space also.
So you have to go through some pretty heavy things to attain that.
It's like I said, the born again process itself is terrifying, but it really is required. That's the problem. People don't want to experience that, which is understandable, but it's sort of necessary.
What's the process? What's the process about doing that?
For
you, like I said, through depression, which will lead to derealization, which from there it's your choice as to how you pursue that.
So it could be an event that causes that. It could be
like a severe traumatic event, something along those lines. Severe anxiety, severe stress, all these things.
Or you can just give up everything.
Or just revelation of the truth, really. I mean that was a big aspect for me. Understanding how this shit really works sort of kicks you down that rabbit hole. So
you could go through something so horrible where you have no interest, where before you might have wanted to live a long time or make a lot of money. You get to go through something so traumatic that you almost want to die, but then you get through it, and it's like all of that stuff has no more meaning anymore to you.
I suppose.
Is that like a light version of what you're talking about?
Yeah. It's when you indulge into that. Well, not indulge, that's a wrong word to use. Like, if you descend fully into that state of being, that's how you're born again. You have to let go. You have to want to experience that spiritual death, and that's what it is. I mean, that's what Christ did by his sacrifice on the cross. He bridged the realms so that we could experience death whilst alive, and that's what the feeling of being born again is. When you go through that, process, it basically sort of shows you how it feels when you die, and it's that state of horrible sort of anxiety, etc., and terror and fear, and that feeling, what you experience, is what these archons sort of exploit to sort of make you reincarnate, if you know what I will. And what Christ did was sort of, through what he did, he enabled us to be born again, and through that, we can experience that feeling, prior to actually dying, so we know what it's like, we know what it is, and that's how you sort of know you've released yourself from these bounds and whatnot.
So the
So
archons feed on that, but once you break through that, you're kind of transcended from that.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
you're
They
not.
feed on that negative energy. That's another key thing. I mean, this energy is generated through intent, attention, and focus. So anything that you put that into generates energy, and obviously they feed on that. And this is why they sort of, I mean, if you've noticed with every single religion that exists, they all want you to sort of focus on one sort of figure or one set of things. You know, and if you project your energy towards that, they feed from that.
So once you come out of that, you're not necessarily happy. It's just that you have no more attachment.
Yeah, I mean, happiness is just sort of part of the. It's an emotion. It's an experience that's attributed to physicality. When you come to know Christ, when you come to know, I mean, when you free yourself from it, you experience something better than happiness. Like happiness is just sort of weak compared to the feeling you get when you know.
Yep. I'm with you on that one.
Alright, who did it?
So for somebody who hasn't been through drama, though, the best way to reach where we're at, is to give up everything, renounce the physical realm, right? Commando, I'm talking to you. Sorry.
Yeah.
Are you there?
Yeah, I just answered. I just said yeah, like that's how you. Yeah.
Okay, so that would answer the blue jay bird guy. I forgot his name. Sorry.
You know the people who like suspend themselves through hooks and different pain, different thing. Is that any way to attain, or is that?
No, that's just like sort of conditioning the flesh to sort of not feel as much pain if you were to.
So this has got to be a very spiritual, personal.
Yeah.
Depth into the abyss type of thing.
So no martial arts, no yoga.
Yeah, like tapping into chi and yoga-based stuff. That's just basically tapping into worldly mechanics. It's nothing to do with the true higher. I mean, it is to do with the higher in a sense, but it doesn't get you out of the.
Yep. There's only one way. They'll get you high, but it won't get you out.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's crazy. Well, thanks for telling me that, Commando, about the Yahweh thing.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Is there any reading you could link to it? Sorry, Brian. Was it Brian?
No. Commando's more knowledgeable than me, which maybe I should take notes. I don't know. I'm still kind of new to all this, so.
Commando, you listed 3 books about a week ago, but I don't know where I put them. Or something that would like the basics of it.
Was it the links to the Dead Sea Scrolls, Nag Hammadi Library, and the Gnosis website?
It's possible.
I was gonna say, do you want me to just link them again? See if you.
Yeah, if you don't mind, I would appreciate it.
Yeah, sure.
Sorry, Mark. We love you.
Huh?
You're bored.
I have the the collection I have is called The Other Bible, and it has the Nag Hammadi text in it.
Oh, I'm gonna ask you guys a question. Does anybody know about the Hallelujah Bible or scriptures or whatever?
No.
That's what that Allen guy, Commando, the Allen Horthen or whatever. He's always bringing that book out all the time.
What's it called?
You know what? I'll just put his new video up. He posted a new video today. I'll just put that up. You guys can look at it real quick.
All right. Thanks.
He was talking about evolution today, which was pretty good. Now you don't like everything he talks about, Commando, I guess.
I was gonna say, if you post a link, just refresh my memory. I'll familiar myself with that.
All right, hold on a second. Okay, here we go. Alan Horvath. I have dyslexia. Sorry, I don't know. Oh, sorry. Okay. So here's the link, gentlemen
Thanks,
and ladies. Okay, cool. Here's Commandos. Oh yeah, I have that one linked, and then there's mine right there.
Yeah, there we go.
Get a look at that. Let's see. Yeah, it's a pretty interesting theory. He starts talking about.
Oh yeah, I'm familiar with this guy. There's a few people that recommend this dude. So what is it you were getting at? What is the thing that he said again?
Well, there's a book at the end he pulls out right at the end, like all the way at the end. Oh no, that's not this video. Crap, it's another one. But no, he's always talking about Yahweh and the other word for God all the time. So is he being deceived, or is he just using that
You
as
could
the
probably learn
name
a
for
lot from
God?
him. I mean, it's the same. I mean, it's the same with Ren Saturn's Eye. Like I learned a lot from him, but even he still, sort of doesn't get the whole, difference between Yahweh and the true state. So, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you can learn a lot from him, but I wouldn't, I wouldn't count on the fact that,
Interesting. Yeah, this is not the video, but this one's pretty good. Let me go back to my history. Okay. Oh, yes. This is the one I wanted to show everybody if I got on. This one, he put a video of Mormons, and it's pretty good. Let me link that one as well.
Yeah.
This is the one he actually pulls out that book at the end. So let me post that here. And I'm actually going to go to the...
Oh, sorry, Brian. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. Go ahead.
I was wondering, well, how do you feel about the Theosophic Society, Madame Blavatsky and that type of thing?
There's a lot of truth in that, but the intent behind it is sort of Luciferian, sort of Gabriel sort of thing. But there's a lot of truth in what Blavatsky was getting at.
But it's put out in a way but it's put out to deceive ultimately.
Okay, just real quick, guys.
It's not so much that it's put out to deceive. It's coming from a deceptive standpoint already. So it's not so much the information that's sort of bad. It's just sort of where it's coming from. You know what I mean?
If you click on the link real quick, guys, it's at 1450. He pulls out the book, and it's called Hallelujah
the Mormons.
Yeah, about the Mormons at the end of the video at 4:50, 14 minutes 50 seconds, and it's the Hallelujah Scriptures.
1450.
Yeah, and he pulls.
Is this something that he sort of reads? I'm presuming.
Yeah, he has like all these books and crap, and today I got rid of all mine, so I was like, I don't know. I guess everybody has their
Hallelujah Scriptures. He's got Yahweh on the front there. Yeah. That doesn't look too. So.
Yeah. I'm gonna link another video. I watched this guy as well. See what you guys think of him. He's the one that kind of like woke me up, kind of. Here, I'm gonna link that as well if you guys want to take a look. Especially Commando, I want you to look at this guy, see, because you'll probably be able to blow him out of water if he's BS. I'm trying to paste. There we go. Oh.
Anyone here familiar with the Brother Nathaniel guy?
Brother Nathaniel? No.
Yeah, it's like that Messianic Jew.
Oh, the Orthodox Russian guy? Orthodox Christian?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've watched quite a bit of his videos.
Yeah, like he always stands in front of like a snowy mountain. He's got like a big beard and a like Pharisee sort of costume. Like.
Yeah, what do you think about him?
I was going to say that. I mean, he's all right for political commentary, but I wouldn't sort of go with his sort of religious outlook for sure. I mean, like I've got quite a few stuff off him that's all right, but from what I can understand, he's another sort of Yahweh.
There he is, the man, the myth, the hour, Von Helton.
Hey, Von.
Bonnie.
Hello. Whoa, how the hell did I unmute? I had myself muted so I wouldn't.
Hey, Von, what's going on?
Wow.
I'm confused. I admittedly only caught a tail end of this conversation, but
right.
Commando, I have a question for you.
Yeah, sure.
And in fact, I even did a video about this, but I don't know if I uploaded it. I may not have uploaded the video, but anyway. All right, Jesus Christ is not a real name. All right, it's not.
Yeah, it's Yeshua.
Yeah, because Jesus is totally fake, and Christ is a title meaning the anointed one, so it's a totally fake name. All right, so his real name is Yeshua, but yet I just heard you say earlier we ought to not pray to the name Yeshua. So
no, he was talking
no, I didn't say that. I said in regards to the name, it's about the intent behind it. So you can use Yeshua, or you can.
All right, good deal. I was sitting there confused. I'm like, wait a minute, Jesus Christ is a fake name. Yeshua is the real name. So you have me. I'm like, what? What's going on here?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. But that's good then.
Vaughn and Commando, I want you guys to check out this guy. I'm going to post it again. I always wanted to see what you guys thought about this, especially you, Vaughn. See what you think of this guy.
Is it that communist guy with the big white mustache? And
No.
he, the rent's too goddamn high, or whatever it is.
No, no.
Check
it out.
Okay, all right. As long as it ain't that guy, I'm all right. Okay,
All right,
hang on
cool.
just a second. I'll check it out.
Appreciate it, Vaughn. Appreciate it. Thanks, Commando. Anybody else want to check it out can too.
I have it open.
This guy kind of.
It's just the Bible is the. Oh, I think I'm familiar with this sort of stuff. Yeah, like the Bible's apparently evil or something. Right.
Well, it's see my whole revelation I had where Jesus or Yeshua, sorry, told me that everything that keeps you away from God is the mark of the beast. So
yeah.
This guy kind of correlates with that. And I talk to him every now and then on Facebook and stuff. So.
Oh, yeah.
What Balthazar put there's something that would agree with Luke 6:35. But love your enemies and do good and lend, hoping for nothing in return, and your reward shall be great, and ye shall be the children of the highest, for he is kind unto the unthankful and to the evil. Does that fit into?
That's works.
I'm gonna say there's a lot of confusing stuff in the scriptures. Like, I mean, anything to do with works, works-based salvation will, it'll be to do with the sort of Yahweh worship. I mean, it's not about the works. The works come from the salvation. It's not the other way around.
But doing good things to your fellow man, would that fit in?
It's sort of irrelevant. I mean, if you're not born again, it doesn't matter. All you're doing is sort of bouncing between the two pillars of duality. If you're born again, you can't help but do good things, as opposed to if you're not born again, you sort of go between the two pillars of is this bad intent, good intent, etc.
I'll have to read through the site and the books that are on there.
Oh, just real quick. Oh wow, Nadia actually sleeps. Is she sleeping right there?
Of course.
Yes.
God bless her.
I know. I had never seen her sleep yet. That's amazing. Wow.
She looks like a complete angel.
That's good. She sleeps. Last night she didn't sleep at all. Like I stayed up till like 9 in the morning, and then I went to bed for 4 hours. Yeah. As soon as you left, Mark, I got on, and then Vaughn was on for a little bit, and then he took off, and I was on all night long.
Well, as soon as I made peace with Vaughn, I was out. So
yeah.
It was, and I think that Randcam, I really enjoyed the conversation last night.
Yeah, I caught the tail end of your guys' discussion.
I mean, I'll say this now. I'm not sort of keen on Rand Campbell. I don't think sort of bullying people into guilt is a valid strategy for helping people.
Randcam, yeah. He's interesting.
You're all reprobates.
God mockers.
But the thing is, it even says that Satan is the accuser, and these people just go around accusing people, and it's just, I mean, if you can't see that for what it is, then
the ultimate contradictory,
But what I enjoyed about that conversation was the part about who really runs the world.
Right.
That I really enjoyed. And a lot of people tell me, "Oh, Mark, you're a conspiracy theorist." It's like, you call me what you want. I mean, it's not going to change anything in my world. What you
There's no such thing as conspiracy theory. It's crap. It's just a slanderous term by retards to just sort of instantly discredit any valid information. There's no such thing as conspiracy. It's just fact. Like
that's what they call Vaughn all the time. It gets really annoying. Really pisses me off. I just can't see Vaughn.
No, we decided that he's it's not pissed. He's passionate.
Oh no, I know.
Oh, I thought, dude,
for a long time.
Dude, if you wanted to see me pissed, you wouldn't want to see me pissed ever again. Trust me.
You came at me last night pretty hard. Come on.
Well, I have this intense hatred for Karl Marx and Frederick Joseph Engels that just knows no boundaries. Okay. See, I was a Cold War veteran.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I literally survived the psychic wars. All right. And this, what Karl Marx and Frederick Joseph Engels spawned, thanks to Rothschild's big fat check, is what propelled me into the psychic wars, kicking and screaming whether I wanted to go or not. And I can flesh that out later maybe, because I know some of you are like, huh, what's he talking about? Anyway, the point is that my intense hatred for communism is well founded because it took a lot of lives and it destroyed ideologies, it destroyed concepts, it destroyed just innumerable things. And so yeah, you know, when I hear the word communism, it's like I become a bulldog on a chain, you know. I'm ready to go at it because I can't stand it. I can't stand it. In fact, there was even a song I just listened to just the other day. I think it was by what was it? It was back in the 70s. I can't stand it, fooling around. I can't stand it, fooling around with my heart. God, who the hell's saying that? It's back in the 70s.
Yeah, I don't know.
Back in the 70s. Yeah.
I don't remember much of the 70s.
Yeah, I remember the 70s, man. It was great because you could turn on the radio and there was always a good song on the radio. Never a bad song, ever. It was great. It was awesome. Cruising down the road in my Torino, and listen, man, my big old my big old green four-door boat, man. I mean, you know, something hits my Torino, they're the ones that's going to turn to dust, not my car. My car will get a little dent in it, like about that, you know, and everybody else.
Evil must be punished, Vaughn.
Evil must be punished. That's correct. You can bet that there's a reason why I was given that slogan. You can bet there's a reason. All right, I don't believe in coincidence. I used to believe in coincidence when I was younger. I did. Right. I did. In fact, I was very skeptical when I was a young person. But as I grew older, it's like, okay, that's awful coincidental. I actually said those words numerous times. That's awful coincidental. And then I started noticing, hey, this over here is awful coincidental. This over here is awful coincidental. This over here. And then pretty soon it clicked up here in my head, hey, wait a minute. There ain't no such damn thing as coincidence. There never was. You know? Right. Because everything has reason. Now, we might not know what that reason and purpose is. I'll give you that. But everything has a reason and purpose. There ain't nothing by coincidence. Nothing. Nothing. And you don't. And the beauty of it is, you don't even have to believe in the supernatural to understand this. You don't have to. It's optional. But the fact of the matter is that no, there is no such thing as coincidence, and never was. There never was. And it took me a while to figure that out, but I finally got it. It finally caught on. Because, you know, like I said, over here, that's awful coincidental. Then I'll say something else. Well, that's awful coincidental. And then there's something else over here, that's awful coincidental. And something over here, awful, you know, and it starts piling up. And by the time it starts piling up, it's like, okay, now I've got this huge amount of shit. What am I going to do with it? You know?
Exactly. It's called
that's why I like you, Vaughn, because you repeat stuff a lot, and a lot of these people out there need to
oh my God, dude, it drives them fucking crazy.
I don't care.
Why do you repeat everything so much?
You got to drill it in their heads.
I got to drill it into their head because they've got 65 years of bullshit accumulated into their brain, and you've got to drill into that. You've got to get through that because they're like, no. I like my comfort zone. I don't want to be taken out of my comfort zone. I like my comfort zone. But the thing of it is, if you don't get out of your comfort zone, you ain't going to get the truth. You'll never get the truth. You'll be comfortable where you are. You'll be comfortable where you are, and you won't want to move. And if you don't move, you won't change. And if you don't change, you won't get to the truth because truth is all about change. And change is violent. Change is violent. Change is painful. Change is aggravating. But you won't get to change unless you move. And you won't move unless you get taken out of your comfort zone. Does it make any sense?
No, it does, because I was going to say, you're one of the ones that woke me up, Vaughn, back 2008-ish, and without you, I probably would have never found my way, so I want to take this opportunity to thank you. And I've been with you since then on YouTube, so.
Well, you're welcome.
Yeah, but, thank you. Appreciate that.
You know, just probably ought to thank Thor's hammer more so than me, though.
Well,
whatever works, man. Whatever works, right? You know, I mean.
I don't think I ever had him subscribed, but I had subscribed.
Who? What?
She's sleeping.
No, not that Thor's hammer. I'm talking about the Thor's hammer, not it. Okay. The Thor's hammer down there is an atheist, not him.
Oh.
Ooh, where?
That's art. Art sometimes come in here as Thor's hammer.
Oh, right,
That's,
right, right.
art, yeah, that's art. Art's an atheist. No, that's not who I'm referring to. I'm referring to the real Thor's hammer. Mjolnir.
Did you guys see
The
that
real Thor's hammer.
story? They said they found the real Thor's hammer the other day. I don't know if you saw that.
This mythology is quite interesting. You know about the whole myth about slaying the sea serpent. I mean, the sea serpent is Yaldabaoth.
Right.
Yes. Well, see, that's another thing that I was trying to talk about the other day with somebody. I forget who it was. I don't even know if it was here, if it was my hang up. You know, because everybody, oh, well, you know, you're into Norse mythology, and that's just fairy tale. And I'm like, well...
It's not fairy tale at all.
Not
It's the
really
most encrypted, highest form of truth that you'll find.
Yeah, it actually is. And I'm, you know, I'm like, now, wait a minute. Well, here's a correlation here, and here's a correlation there. And I was starting to show that person, you know, where all these correlations were as to what's going on. And it's like, yeah, but this Ragnarok stuff can't possibly be true. And I'm like, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. You know, you know, I mean, when you read the ancient Tibetan writings, what do they say? They say they had these big craft called vimana, and these vimana craft were extremely powerful. They had weapons that would light up like the sun. They said, well, what does that sound like to you? When you hear the phrase, it had a weapon that lit up like the sun, what does that sound like to you? Doesn't that sound like a nuclear weapon?
The Brahmastra, it's talked about in the Vedic scriptures quite a bit.
Yeah, you got it. Exactly, okay? All right.
It ties into sort of, you know, the pre-flood Earth thing as well. You know, like Noah's Ark.
Absolutely it does. Absolutely it does. Absolutely it does. And that's what I was trying to get across to some people a few months back, you know, because they were like, well, you're going to have to go to YouTube there, dude. Who's doing that?
That was great. I just wanted to stop